Next item is Resolution 22-2053, amending Resolutions 5375-04-2021, 5488-10-2021, and 5512-12-2021 to amend certain redistricting procedures.
Thank you. We have two speakers. Our first speaker is Bob Willoughby. Is Bob still here? Then the next speaker is Thomas Turlin-Cossey.
Mayor Parker, council members, I wanted to make a point and remind you to be mindful of how the public perceives some of the things that you do. For example, this particular resolution. I saw the slide about Amending Middle School, and it reminded me that the football coach in 1973 would tell us what the rules were and what the procedures were at every practice. And then at the end of the practice, he would add something. One of the things would be run to the elementary school and back, and then practice will be over. But the little fast guys like me got it done too quickly, and he would add another lap to the elementary school. Last week, I mentioned that the council might be meddling a little bit too much in the redistricting process, and here you are adjusting a few resolutions. The difference is that my football coach in 1973 had the power, the prerogative, and the permission because he had leverage over the people that he managed on the football team. We had a stake in the outcome. Here, the roles are actually reversed. And one of the things that it looks like to the public, although there aren't very many speakers here this morning to point this out, is that the thousands of hours that the task force put in, every neighborhood association's volunteer hours, independent advocacy groups, the particular communities of interest put in hundreds, if not thousands of hours following the rules and following the procedures that you established. We've already seen a number of changes, including completely dropping and ignoring the core recommendation of the task force. And yet again, you're tweaking it, eliminating some things and adding some extra hurdles or barriers. I don't know how much political capital each of you individually can surrender and what it appears as far as the optics to the public or to the people that serve on your boards and commissions. But how many times can you call on citizens to help with the process and then just trash it and do it the way you want to?
That's the last of our speakers, council. I've got, I need a motion and a second, and then I'll turn to council members for comments.
Motion to approve.
In a second, council?
Second.
Perfect. Any other discussion? Nettles, go ahead.
And I just want to add, I appreciate your comments, Mr. Thomas. And in the process of what we have really been doing at the city of Fort Worth, and we have said this on numerous occasions, that if you look across the United States, and if you come closer, look across the state level, the Congress level, the county level, that the city of Fort Worth has been the most transparent process of redistricting. And thank you. Because certain maps that got drawn that had no communication with the city, no communication with the residents. But we have made sure that we have heard and listened to the residents. And I, for one, and I would tell you, if you watch the videos, I did not necessarily agree at first to change these resolutions. But in the sake of our communities and to make sure that we get it right the first time, because when we vote on this map, it is going to be set for the next 10 years. So we're voting for how the city of Fort Worth is going to progressively move for the next 10 years. And so I, for one, are excited that Mayor Parker stepped back and said, well, let's just make some revisions so that we get it right the first time. And I know other people think that council or elected officials should not meddle in this process. But I tell you that we have worked hard day in and day out to make sure that each district is intact as well as bringing another minority opportunity district in the city of Fort Worth. So I appreciate all their comments, and I want those that have been watching, those that have been emailing. We get the emails, we hear you, we're making conversation, we're making sure that we get the best map that supports the movement and the forwardness of the city of Fort Worth. So thank you for your comments. Be patient with us, work with us as we continue to move this process forward. And Fernando can tell you, once we vote on this map, we're going back to the community. So guess what? It may be some more tweaking once we get to the final map. But we're doing that to make sure that you have been heard. So that is what this resolution, I feel like, is doing today. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Any other discussion, council? Please vote. Motion carries.